Everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay. Today I'm doing a full face of Cover FX featuring two new products to their line, the Luminous Tinted Moisturizer and their bronzer drops. So if you want to see how I got this very neutral, wearable, and easy look, then keep watching. Before we start, if you guys aren't already subscribed, I would love to have you, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy at any point. But without further ado, let's talk about these new products. I was thinking that was gonna rhyme, it did not. I do have some brows on already, so the first product I want to use today is the Cover FX Water Cloud Primer, Pollution and Blue Light Defense. I mentioned this before, it was in a favorites video. I really enjoy the consistency, how this applies. It feels really refreshing on the skin. So I'm just working that onto the skin to prep for our next product, which is going to be the new Tinted Moisturizer. This does leave a slightly tacky base, but not too much. So here's the new product. This is the Cover FX Luminous Tinted Moisturizer. You guys know I'm not a huge tinted moisturizer fan, but I do enjoy Cover FX. So I was curious about this formula, how it layers. So this is the shade Fair Light. They have 3 shades, I believe. From what I've tried, this is not my first time using it. I wanted to develop a just better opinion to share with you guys. It is very sheer, so there's 3 different shades, and it gives you the number of their foundation that would fit within whatever shade that you choose. So if you have used their foundation before, you can check there to help you find your shade. It says that this is a luminous tinted moisturizer formulated with innovative prebiotic and probiotic complexes, blur pores and fine lines, and helps replenish and restores skin's natural barrier. So it does claim to have a lot of skincare benefits, which is interesting. To start applying this, they did come out with a new brush, by the way, which has like these little wells in it to put like different products, which I just thought was like pretty stupid. Like, I'm never gonna use a brush like that. So I did pass on that, but I still wanted to try this out for you guys. So here's the shade Fair Light, which the color is a lot lighter than what the bottle shows, at least for this shade. This might be a little bit light since I have some fresh tanner on. And I like to use this with my fingers to make sure it blends evenly. There's like a very light scent with this, but it's nothing too detectable. So here's what one layer looks like. As you can tell, it's very light coverage, but I actually feel like it does do a great job at blurring and smoothing my face. I'm not sure if you'll be able to really see on camera, but it just looks really smooth and it helps to even my skin tone. This personally isn't something I would wear on its own, but if you do like lighter coverage, I think this would probably be enough for you. And this does, although it says it's a luminous tinted moisturizer, I find it to be a satin finish, which was a little weird. I was kind of expecting it to be dewy, but I do enjoy how it's not too oily or greasy, like that perfect summer tinted product. So because I personally would not wear that on its own, we are going to layer it up with a couple other products, but I did just want to quickly mention this and say I think it's really nice from what I've tried so far. It behaves well with other products, it doesn't pill, it gives a really light amount of coverage because the tinted moisturizer, that's what they do. But I feel like the formula is really gentle and pretty on the skin. It's not super dewy if that's something you were expecting again. But yeah, the shades as well, I feel like, I'm not sure because I don't have the other shades, but they probably could expand the shade range. Even though it's a tinted moisturizer, it's super sheer. It's always better to have more shades than just 3 or 4. So yeah, they did also, this was like free with my order, these little clips that I got. I'm not sure if they still have the deal going on, but I'll link it below if they do. Next, I'm gonna go in with the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. I use the shade N35 here. Haven't used this in a while, so I'm excited. So I do also have their cover drops, which I plan on using, but these are really light, so I'm gonna have to pass on those for now. This foundation, the Power Play, is very matte, so I find that you have to work in sections so that it doesn't, you know, dry in patches. All right, so here's our foundation on. I wanted to zoom in because of how freaking blurred my face looks right now. I think the combination of this primer and this as a base like acted so well with the foundation I just used. And I have noticed when I use this under foundation, it really helps like whatever foundation I put on top of it to look better. So for me, not necessarily like a tinted moisturizer, but like a really pretty tinted primer for sure. Looking very good. It's definitely matte, but I've been preferring that lately with all the heat and just mask humidity, you know what I'm saying? Before I do concealer, I'm going to use the next new product I have, which I've been wanting to try these since they came out. Cover FX bronzer drops. They come in 2 shades. I got the shade Sunkissed. These I was either thinking are going to be a hit or a miss for me because some liquid products I feel like just perform so weird over foundation. But these have quickly become one of my favorite bronzing products since it came into my routine. It's so pretty. It's described as a matte shade, but it actually has like this luminous-is to it, luminescence. luminescence to it, but it doesn't have like any really visible particles. Like it's just so blended into the formula, and the shade is just perfect. It's really neutral but still has some warmth to it. And they do have a deeper shade, which would be for medium skin tones, or as a highlight for deeper skin tones. If you are similar skin to me, I would recommend the shade. I think it's so pretty. So usually what I like to do with these is just tap a little bit where I want some bronziness, and then I just take my sponge and they blend in so nicely. Like you really don't have to work with them a ton. They just look so pretty and like really natural. I think it's the shade, the formula, I don't know what, but they look incredible on the skin. You can also mix these in with a moisturizer, with a foundation, with whatever skincare you want, just to add like a bronzy glow, which I think is really fun. I have done it with moisturizer. It looks gorgeous. I'm gonna take a little bit more just to intensify it. Here's another close-up of the skin with the bronzer drops on. And this is 2 layers. I did some on my nose as well, and it still looks super natural. I just think these are awesome. They've become a go-to for me. I totally recommend these. I'm really surprised by how much I ended up liking this. Not usually a huge fan of liquidy products. I love powder products, but these, damn. They look good. All right, let's get some concealer on. I did pick up a new one of my Cover FX Power Play since I ran out of my other one. Same shade, N-Light 1. Favorite concealer. Really nothing beats this. I love using a fresh product. It's so satisfying. Whenever I'm blending my concealer, once I have it blended out, I like to take whatever's left and just do a little bit under the jawline to sharpen up the bronzer and just highlight a little bit, but I don't like to put product directly there. I feel like it really emphasizes texture, especially if the concealer is super light. That's a little trick. Just use whatever's left over. All right, here we have our base. I really love how it's looking so far, so I'm gonna set with the Perfect Setting Powder lightly under the eyes, and then I will do some on my face too. I literally keep zooming you guys in, but I just want you to see this. It looks really good. All right, to bronze up a little bit more, I'm gonna take my Cover FX Sun Kissed Bronzer Duo. I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of the shimmery shade. I'm using this one because it's less pigmented than the matte one. That one shows up a little bit like just too dark on me, or I can be very light-handed and it looks okay, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of glow because our base is so matte. All right, so you guys may have seen me use this before, the Cover FX Blush Duo in Soft Peach. I really love the formula, so I decided to pick up a new shade. This is Mojave Mauve, which I'm also gonna compare to the Hourglass blush because I was curious to see how similar they were because they looked really similar to me online. So over here is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush and Mood Exposure, which you guys know is one of my favorite blushes. Then here we have the Cover FX Mojave Mauve. This is the shimmer shade and the matte shade, so they are pretty similar. The Hourglass one is very matte, but I feel like tone wise, like especially the matte one, you could definitely get a similar look with them. So if you want a vegan version of the Hourglass blush, I would check the Cover FX out one, but I would check out the Cover FX one. So for this, again, I'm using this shimmery shade in this fluffy brush. I'm just working that on the backs of my cheekbones. This is a really pretty shade. It's not too purpley or pink. I could see this working for a lot of people depending on your undertones. If you're like super warm tone though, I feel like the peach or they have one called honey, warm honey or something that looks so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and do a really quick, just natural eye. These are some ColourPop shades and also Makeup Geek. So I'm gonna start with a transition per usual. You could also use the bronzer in your crease for a really cohesive look. Next, I'm taking this matte brown that's a little bit deeper than the previous shade we just put down. This is gonna be in my outer V. Next, I'm taking this matte mustard shade. This is from Makeup Geek, and I'm layering that on the outer corner too, just to add some more warmth. Next, taking this matte, very light, almost white shade. I like to carve out this inner corner, and I also put this on my brow bone. All right, that's pretty much our eye look. It was super simple. I just did a shimmery champagne on the center of my lid. I'm gonna finish up with liner, lashes, and then I'll be back to wrap up the rest of this look. I almost forgot, but before I go do that, I'm gonna use the Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray. They give you a lot of free samples when you order on their site. This is actually like a really nice deluxe size sample. But anyway, I haven't tried this yet, so I'm really excited. And I'm just gonna set my face. All right, our eyes are complete. So for our lips, I'm gonna take the Kosas. This is their Vegas lipstick, which is this really pretty nude. Just to keep it simple, very neutral, of course. Then to finish that, I'm going to take the Bite Beauty French Press Lip Gloss in the shade Flat White. Alright guys, so we are done here. Here's our finished look. Now just some of my thoughts on the two new products. The tinted moisturizer, I surprisingly really do enjoy. I like to use it more as a base for under foundation as opposed to wearing it on its own, but if you do like lighter coverage, I think you would like this. It's not super dewy. The name says luminous, but it's more of the finish, not really the texture of it. It's like a satin texture. It does make you look really like blurred out and luminous, but not in a dewy way, if that makes sense. I really do like the finish. The formula is nice, doesn't seem to irritate my skin or break me out, so I will continue to use this as a base. I kind of use it like a primer. And then next, the Cover FX bronzer drops. I absolutely love these. I've been using these every single day. I feel like they're so versatile. You can mix them in, apply them on top of foundation, moisturizer, whatever your heart desires. I think the formula is great. They blend beautifully. They do not pick up or catch on foundation. I tried it with a couple different foundations so far, and every single one, it just works like a gem. So I absolutely love these. Totally recommend them. If you guys have been looking for like a lightweight summer bronzer, I would really recommend this one. That was it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy at any point. Thanks again for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have tried Cover FX, what your favorite products are. I would love to hear, but I will see you guys in my next video.